One of my favorite sayings, and you've heard it, and this is literally and figuratively, but one man's medicine is another man's poison, and literally medicines, as we all know, you could be allergic and die, and it could work very well for another. But throughout life, as you um, as you get asked to look at different aspects of life, hey, try meditation, hey, try um, this TED talk and everything. I would explain to them is what's good for somebody else might not be good for you. Keep looking, because what's when you're gonna know when you find it, and don't be distraught if somebody tells you to try X, Y, and Z and it just doesn't work. Move on, try something else, and don't worry about what's in the past. Because a lot of people get caught up on if it worked for me, it's going to work for you. That's not true. Even positive things, it's just not true. So listen to your intuition and try different things, and do not get hung up on anything even I say or Priya says, uh, because everyone's different. We're all unique in our own way. Even our kids are unique from us. So we have to give them that space.
Hi, and welcome to Indian Explorers. In this podcast, we talk about Indian success stories. I am Sabrina, and together with my co host Amit, we will get to understand the journey of our guests and what drives them. The optimism, patience, idealism, and courage are the attributes that we want to bring to life in our conversations with them. If you enjoy the show, please hit the subscribe button and share it with others. Hello, hello.
Hi, how are you doing, Sabrina?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Very good. It's Friday. I'm in a good mood. It's the last day of the transfer season for European football, and Madrid fans have been waiting for Mbappe to join, and it doesn't look like it's happening. But that's
Aww.
life.
Where
What
is he
about yourself?
going? Do we know
No,
yet?
he's in PSG for the last 3-4 years. He's been rumored that he's coming to Madrid, and this year the rumor was on fire because he actually did not renew for PSG. So in
Okay.
January 1st, he's a free agent. So because of that, the PSG management and owners were actually open to listening to offers. But
Okay.
last year, Madrid made an
Gonna be
offer of
big
250.
money, big money.
Yeah, last year Madrid made an offer of 250 million euros, and they didn't get a response from PSG. So there's a bit of ego going on over there, and there's been no reply. So this year Madrid hasn't even made an offer yet, and we wait and see.
All right. It seems like soccer's becoming big money, huh?
Yeah,
More and more
yeah,
each year.
yeah. Did you see what happened at the end of the Women's World Cup final when the president of the Spanish Federation grabbed with his hands Jenny Hermoso, one of our key players, who missed the penalty in the final, and did mwah on the
Oh
lip.
my goodness. Now you say our player because we both were born in Spain and we're both huge Spanish fans. I watched the game. It was incredible. I know you and I were messaging back and forth. And then when they started the ceremony at the end, I got busy taking my own daughter to soccer. And then I see what happens. Like it's it's just unacceptable. I don't
Yeah.
even have the words for it. If that happened in the US, I mean he would have been terminated the next day.
Yeah. So, in a summary, the Me Too movement of Spain is exactly this. In fact, just before this episode, just before the recording, the TAD, which is the Legal Administrative Department of Sports in Spain,
Okay.
uh, have decided that they don't have the legal jurisdiction to fire him from his job
Okay.
because they classified what he did as grave, not muy grave, i.e., serious, not very serious. So now it's going to go up to another, but they recommend that he resigns,
Which he
like the
won't
whole,
do.
which he said already vividly that he's not going to do. His mom, Rubiales' mom, is now in hospital because she's gone on a hunger strike. Uh, there are protests in all the major cities in Spain. the president of the country, Spain, has actually come out and said that he should resign and it's
Mhm.
unacceptable what he's done. Um,
Yeah.
so,
You know, today I saw on Instagram that Rubiales himself sent a video he received of Jenny Hermoso on the bus after the World Cup, looking at the picture of him kissing her and laughing, right?
yeah.
And I
Was
was,
it the bus or was she on the plane?
I think it was a bus.
I thought it was on the plane on the way back home. But
Okay,
anyway,
maybe it's a
I
plane.
get your
Yeah.
point. Comparing it
Yes. So,
to Sara
and
Carbonaro and
so,
Iker Casillas' kiss.
yes. So he sends that to FIFA, like, look it, she's laughing about it.
Yeah,
And there were thousands of comments on this photo. And a lot of them, I'd say majority, were still in favor of her, saying when a woman is sexually assaulted, okay, or physically assaulted, most of the time they don't even realize it at that moment, you
yeah,
know? That's number one. Number two was that, she just won the World Cup. Like, imagine being on that high of emotion, and then this happens. Like, maybe you haven't even processed it yet.
yeah,
And then the third thing that I found interesting was everyone said, or a lot of people, a lot of comments, that even if he is removed, it's not just him. It's the institution, it's the culture that allowed for that as well. I mean, that's
yeah,
one step in the right direction, but I mean, if that happened to my daughter, I'd
yeah.
be
You know,
livid.
Spain does have a history of what's the word? Machistas. What's that in
Hmm.
in English? Machistas,
Um,
chauvinistic, right?
yes, yes,
Yeah,
correct.
chauvinistic. It is part of the culture in Spain. I think it's improved drastically in the last 2 3 decades, but clearly there's still a long way to go. I'll tell you what's happened though. Um, Part of the federation, when Jenny Hermoso and her letter responded to
Hmm.
the Spanish Federation, who were actually supporting him because he did not resign, they actually used the terminology agresión sexual, which
Okay.
means sexual assault.
Aggression. Okay, assault.
And now that they're going after the sexual assault, when it was a peck on the lips, it's
Hmm.
actually converting people more towards his side because in America there are like 4 degrees. Where
Hmm.
in America there's like degree 1, which is rape; degree 2,
Yes,
molestation.
every
There's like
every.
four. Yeah,
Hmm.
Spain doesn't have that, or not that I've read. So right now in Spain, you either are assaulted sexually or you're not. So the woman, Jenny Hermosos, and her group the agency that she represents, and the letter signed by these 80 women actually use the word sexual assault.
Hmm.
So, this has caused a lot of upheaval. A lot of men are saying, listen, we all know he did wrong. We all want him to resign. But a peck to which you then celebrated, shared the video, entertained, laughed, celebrated, to then 24 hours later, because of social media, that's become sexual assault. That's a line that even many women are not willing to go, right?
Are the people that are saying that, are they in Spain?
Yes.
Okay, because and then in the US, hearing that, there it seems to me everything I've heard or read, they're still in support of her using
No,
the
no.
term sexual assault, right?
Oh, okay. So everyone
Yes.
in Spain wants him out of his job and they think that his
Yeah.
ego has gone to another level, but they don't want, many people in Spain don't think that the PEC warrants a sexual
Hmm.
assault punishment, which could
Hmm.
be 1 to 5 years in jail,
Okay.
right? He's already been suspended by FIFA for 90 days. The Spanish Federation, now the
Yeah. 90
government is
days, nothing.
suspending. Yeah, his 1 million euro a year salary is going down the toilet. He'll never be able to get a job again in public or in any sports federation. His reputation is ruined to another level. He should just have the balls to say, I'm sorry and I'm out. I
I
made a
agree.
grave mistake. And
Hmm.
because of not doing that, he's actually damaging the reputation of Spain, Spanish football, and men.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, of course.
yeah, it's very sad, but yeah, I think time will tell what's going to
Let's
happen
see
to
where
him.
this story continues. I feel like every day there's an update.
Yeah, everyone was like, okay, don't do it for the country, don't do it for football, but do it for your fucking mother.
Yeah.
Your mom. Do
She's
it for your
starving
mom.
herself right now.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anyway,
Hey,
uh,
there's some good sports news, right? That you
yes,
want to share.
yeah. Actually, all this negativity surrounding Spain. When I think about the opposite, I think about what's happening to India. India on a sports level, for the first time, I think in history, they actually competed in a 4x400 athletics competition. I think it's going on in Budapest, and they became second in the relay race,
The four
only to
by four
America.
hundred.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and then they actually made it to the final, and the final they came fifth. But
Yeah.
the fact that they actually are in the top 8 in the
It's
world
incredible.
in running, uh, brown people, that was remarkable.
Yeah.
Then you add
When
the
you told
fact,
me that,
yeah,
I had to look it up because I did not believe you.
yeah,
And then it
okay,
gave me hope for our children.
yeah,
Maybe they will be athletes.
yeah, yeah. Maybe your daughter. I don't know about my sons. One thing, a little side note to this story, which I'm sure you're not aware of because it's only a story within India, is that the four runners are actually different religion.
Oh, all four of them.
Yeah. So what you have is you
Very cool.
have two Muslim, one
Hmm.
Hindu, and a Christian.
I love that.
Right? So
Very cool.
actually, they're saying, such a great secular democracy that you have three different religions competing, and they're teammates, and that is actually a win for the country.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, yeah. So the bigger win for the country is actually what happened on August 23rd, when
Okay.
India landed on the South Pole, or the south side, or the dark
Yeah.
side
The
of the
South
moon.
Pole. Yeah.
I know the Chinese tried to land like a couple of weeks or a month before that, and they crashed. So I thought that was a great story. In fact, August 23rd now, Narendra Modi, our prime minister, has actually declared it to be India's Space Day. So every
I love
August
that.
23rd is going to be a space day. And
So funny story. Naima, my daughter, comes home and she's like, guess what? India was the first country to land on the moon. And I looked at her like, I failed you. I'm like, Naima, we were in the moon like decades ago.
40 years
And she
ago.
was like, yeah, more now. And she goes, she's like, no, look. And so she shows me, and I was like, oh, we were the first, India's the first nation to land on the South Pole of the moon. And I was like,
Yeah,
that's so cool. Like,
yeah.
it's a proud moment.
Do you know why they landed there? Do you know what they're doing on the
I
south
have
side?
no idea. Do you?
Yeah, yeah. I Basically on the south side, it's the dark side. The sun never reaches that point. So
Okay.
what they claim, um, because I think a few years ago they tried to land there and they failed, but they actually found in the images that they took crates, and basically they think that there's solid frozen water, ice.
Okay.
Yeah, and so what they're doing, obviously, ice being water, being H2O, there's hydrogen and oxygen. So when everybody wants to put more people, not just Elon Musk wants to go to Mars, everybody, humanity wants to have another planet to
Hmm.
live. So they're thinking of making the moon like a base camp, like a station, like International Space Station. And to do that, and to have humans living or being months and not days in the moon, you need obviously oxygen to breathe and water to
Yeah.
drink. And they're saying that if the water is there, as you know, water is very heavy. So to take so much water from Earth to moon is not practical. Whereas if they
Right.
distill the water over there, they can drink that water.
Amazing.
And
Yeah.
then the hydrogen, obviously hydrogen is fuel. So if rockets need to refuel, thanks to Elon Musk new technology, you can just get rockets landing everywhere. So the hydrogen also can be used from the moon, which nobody else is using right now. So that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make the moon like a base camp. And the
That
fact
is
that India is the first country
amazing.
to do it um, is I mean, if you think about it, Biden, uh, Rishi Sunak, everybody has congratulated India for this achievement
Oh,
because
yeah.
they recognize this is a world solution and not
Yeah.
just that. And just to continue on the India story, which is the opposite of Spain, the IMF has just announced that India is going to grow more than 6%, 6 to 7% GDP this year, and it's
Okay.
the only large democracy and large economy in the world that is growing at such a pace. I don't know if America is on 1, 2, or 3%, but no other economy is over 3%. And China right now is doing the opposite direction. So,
Well,
space, economy,
and sports.
sports, and not to forget that I think the next American president is going to be an Indian. So,
That's when I'll pack my bag and head to India.
yeah, but the point is that, we already run the CEOs of, Indian CEOs already run a third of Silicon Valley companies, and they're very well respected. The median salary of American Indians are the only ones over $100,000 a year in America. So I think you're hearing lots of positive stories about India. The economy is going the right direction. And the fact that Vivek did excel in the debate,
You
not
really
necessarily
wanted
in a
to
good
talk
way.
about this. You
No, no,
couldn't
no,
you
no,
couldn't help yourself.
no, no, no. Meaning, actually, people now know who Vivek is. I've been
Yeah.
talking about him for a while, but people now know who he is. And actually, more people also dislike him further after that debate and his
Yeah.
arrogance and his intelligence, whatever you want to call it. So, whether he wins or not, the fact that he's overtaken Ron DeSantis as number two candidate in the Republican Party, not in all polls, but in
Yeah.
a few of them,
Some. Mhm.
I just think think about that, Sabrina. Think about that when you entered to America. If I told you there was a brown skinned guy from India who is now potentially second only to Trump to be your president, uh, the other side, Biden, he's asleep on holiday most of the time. He is Biden's on holiday more than
Look,
any other
am I
president.
surprised that there's someone who's not white that's doing well in the polls? No. But do I think this guy will win the Republican nomination?
Big
Absolutely
no.
not.
Yeah.
Big no. Yeah.
Because of
I
Trump.
don't think I think I think he's looking for Trump's the votes Trump got. I think he's looking for those votes now, and I don't think those individuals will vote for an Indian guy to be their next president.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Eh,
Well, look, we talked a lot about sports, and we're going to talk more about sports with our guests. We have the first couple, a married couple, they're a dynamic duo to introduce today.
yeah. Before that, Sabrina, and I know we'll bring them up now in a minute, I was amazed. I don't know if it was last night. I was on my rabbit holes of social media, and I was on TikTok, and I want to ask you, who do you think? Let me rephrase the question. On TikTok, not
Mm-hmm.
who has the most followers, because I don't. I'm sure you don't know this person, because I had no clue who this person was. Um, but how many million subscribers do you think the most viewed, most followed person on TikTok has? It's a good
How many
question.
millions of
Yeah,
followers does the
and just
most?
to put it in context, we have 142 subscribers on Indian Explorers podcast.
Okay, I'm going to say 650 million.
Okay, so the person who has the most TikTok followers, is 161 million.
Okay, I was way off.
161 million. All right, 600 million is it's a good number, and you'll never guess who that person is.
No idea.
Okay, so if I told you that person was A, black,
Mm-hmm.
B, born in Senegal, 3, moved to Italy when he was 1 year old, 4, started on TikTok only on March 2020 because he was fired from his factory because of COVID. They laid off people. And this guy, I can't even pronounce his name, his name is Kabi Lam. Kabi, Khaby, Lam, Lame. And he's just this cool 23, 24-year-old black dude who speaks only Italian from Senegal. And all he does is take the mick, take the piss. What's that in English? Mock. He
Like
mocks,
tease. Yeah.
tease.
Mm-hmm.
All he does is something happens to somebody and he films them and then he teases them by doing something similar. So, for example, in a fashion show where you see these people with big drapes and like carrying cloths and all these things, he's seen coming out of the toilet with the toilet paper stuck like to his bum. And that's like the piss take of, the fashion. So he's just done these viral 20,
Yeah.
30-second clips and he has 161 million followers, double Mr. Beast. And I was thinking, this guy's 23. I'm exactly double his age. I'm 46. And this guy's got 161 million followers on TikTok. Like Sabrina, we skipped a generation.
Oh, completely. Completely. And I mean, the stuff out there on social media, I'm just like, most of it isn't funny to me. Is it me or is it like, I don't
Oh,
know. It's
I'm finding it entertaining. I'm no longer on Threads. I'm on TikTok every day, and I'm on Twitter or X. I'm on X half an hour a day. I'm on TikTok 20 to 30 minutes a day. I'm on Instagram less than 2 minutes a day. I'm not an
okay.
Instagram guy. Yeah. But
Okay.
anyway, I just thought it was interesting, and thank you for playing along with me with the 600 million number. I'll remind you of that.
Now that I think about it, I'm like, that was pretty foolish. That's one where Noel will look at me and be like, "Really? Like,
Yeah,
think about it. 600
yeah,
million? Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that's
Anyway,
almost most of the people in. Never mind. I'm just
that's
kidding.
double America. America's 350
Yeah.
million people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
All right,
right,
Sabrina.
let's move on. Okay, so we have our first couple on our show, and they are a force, Priya and Shashi Vaswani. They are dynamic and innovative entrepreneurs who have reshaped industries in their community. Groundbreaking ventures like About Time, a video game distribution reaching revenues of over 100 million annually, and the development of their first of several hotels in 2004, La Quinta Inn and Suites, have allowed them to diversify operations into real estate development and, yes, soccer. They founded the Laredo Heat Soccer Club, which plays in the National Premier Soccer League, and the Laredo Heat Youth Academy, the first youth soccer program of its kind in Laredo, Texas. So, what's coming up next? A FIFA approved 6-acre soccer complex. Also, of course, the first in their community. So, these two have the ability to inspire and lead teams, coupled with an unwavering dedication to their vision. And they have earned them a reputation as community luminaries. So I am so excited to have them both on. Welcome, Priya and Shashi Vaswani.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Of
Appreciate
course.
it.
Yeah.
Very, very strong words. I mean, I appreciate all that, but we are not all that. But we will
Nah, I
explain
doubt
later.
it. And as we go through your journey today, I think we'll prove that you really are. So
I
let's get
I want
started.
to actually, before we get into their story and their journey, I want to know what is the impact Messi has had in soccer in America.
Well, I can tell you my side of the story. Obviously, I have gone to Europe and watched Messi many times playing in with Barcelona. Had not seen him with PSG yet, but for me, I thought that the impact would be less. To be honest with you, I had told Sabrina once. I said, "Listen, I'm not going to go watch him play because I've seen him playing with the best players around him, and I think that's enough for me." However, I did not subscribe to Apple TV because I never really wanted to watch the MLS. And I was the first one now. When Messi came onto the scene, I did subscribe to Apple TV, watched him, and am in awe, and the impact is just like that. It's whenever you get the general population involved, it's huge. And what's happened now is people that didn't know MLS or didn't even want to watch MLS are watching it. So the impact is tremendous.
Yeah.
I agree.
It really is. Priya, I'm sure you can add to that.
I love watching him play, even more so now in the MLS because he just runs around circles around everybody else, and
He
it's been
really
fun to watch.
is.
Yes, it really is. And then hearing Shashi screaming in one area and Rishi screaming in the other area. So it's been a lot of fun.
I actually, a few years ago on Facebook, this is back when he was in his peak at PS at Barcelona. I posted on Facebook just Messi greater than, and I put Michael Jordan. For me, he had overtaken who has for 40 years been the greatest athlete, the GOAT of all sports. And for me, Messi now is above Michael Jordan. That's what I think of him, and I'm a Madrid supporter. So
And you get arguments about that all the time. Ronaldo, a lot of people don't like Messi.
yeah.
I mean, for me, he is the GOAT, without, and I respect the people that don't think so and they think others are. But by far, for me, he is the best athlete in the world.
You're a nicer person. I don't respect anybody who thinks Ronaldo is better than Messi. So let's go back.
Well, I said that on the podcast, but I don't really feel that way.
Oh, well, then you're on the wrong pod, Sashi. Then you're on the wrong pod. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we're only honest with each other. So let's get back to you guys. Let's start from the beginning. Sabrina mentioned to me that you guys got married when you were under 20. I thought she made a mistake. Can you correct that? And when did you guys get married? How did you meet? How did your story start together as a power couple?
Well, I wasn't under 20, so I'm going to let her take that.
Okay.
I was 21.
21. And Priya?
I was 18 when I met Shashi, and it was just over a dinner table because my nanny was visiting, and we just kind of hit it off from there, and then we started seeing each other from there. And I was supposed to go away to college, and it was either go away to college, which I had already been accepted to St. Edward's, or stay behind in the valley and get a chance to know him. So I, of course, picked the latter and stayed, got to know him. Fast forward, we got married a year later. I was 19. Shashi took me all the way to St. Martin, which was not expected. We were supposed to live in the US. And we started from there. And we started like everybody else with loans and just starting out in life very humbly, just trying to work really hard and move up a little bit.
And
And that's what started.
I have to add that, you were young, but you've always been very mature, because I have to share a story of when, at that time, my family and I were living in Laredo. You were 17 and you came, my parents were traveling to check out if we were moving to Miami, and you came and took care of Ravine, my brother, and I. I was in 4th grade, he was in 9th grade. You're 17 and you're cooking for us, taking care of us, driving us to school, and then taking care of my parents' business. So you were always like really mature.
Yeah, my dad didn't give me a choice when I was younger. It was put me to work when I was 8 years old, and that was how we were raised. So yeah, married at 18. I mean, met Shashi at 18, married at 19, and had my daughter at 20.
I have to add, she continues doing all those things, even at this day and age, taking care of all the kids, the grandkids, us, and managing the business is that she has. I mean, I'm not saying this because we're on this podcast, but hats off to her. What she's done is truly amazing, and it's leaps and bounds beyond what I've done, which is just business, where she's done the business and everything else.
Did you say grandkids?
Grandson and another grandson on the way.
Wow. That's
Yes, it was.
really young to be grandparents.
I've been waiting for a while, so I've been ready. Yeah, my 7-month-old grandson is like the joy of our life right now, and then my daughter's pregnant and she's due in December, so we'll have 2 boys in Christmas.
Congratulations. I have 3 boys, just like Messi.
Thank you.
So
Just like Messi.
Sashi, let's talk about the big bucks. Let's talk about the money. When did the money start pouring in? Was it video games? Walk us through your career.
Yeah. So, and a little backstory on St. Martin and why we moved there. We got married in '87. There was a peso devaluation on the border. We obviously knew the border business and the trade business very well. Both Priya and I grew up doing that. But obviously we couldn't set up shop anywhere around the border in '87 because of the peso devaluation. And we looked around with the help of her family also. And it was a leap of faith. And we found St. Martin, where what we were doing is we were trading again. We knew the jewelry business really well. That was sort of my background, my parents' background. So we were retailing in St. Martin and we stayed there for 3 years. And that was sort of a liftoff for us. I can't say that we really made a ton of money there, but I think we got a foothold, and I think we realized that we didn't really want our kids to go to school there in St. Martin. We weren't expecting to have a kid so soon, and that's when we traveled back to the border area. I did not want to come back to Laredo, Texas. I had moved to Laredo from Toronto, Canada, and was basically just in tears because of just think about Toronto, Canada, and think about Laredo, Texas in 1980 when we moved. However, we tried several things in McAllen and surrounding areas in Brownsville, and we ended up with a video game business. And I'll tell you how we started. I was in McAllen, and her brother says, "Hey, I'm going to Walmart to do some stuff. Come with me." So I just went with him for the ride. He picks up, if you remember Super Mario 3, it was a yellow box. He picks up all the Super Mario 3 that Walmart had at $59.99, paid the tax on it. I think it was 40 pieces, whatever. Came back to his store, put it up in his store at $89.99, and sold everything in a couple of days. And I'm saying, what the hell am I doing here?
Still happens today.
I really, yeah, well, to a certain extent, yes. So we saw that when we started shop of the video game business in 1991 in Laredo, Texas. Our second child was born, Rishi, in March of 1991. We literally moved. Priya, was it 1 week later, 2 weeks later,
10 days. 10 days
10
after he
days
was born.
later? We were there, and right off the bat, I think our sales in the first year was close to 10 million in the video game business. And obviously, again, we talk big numbers, but the profit margin was
Sure.
low.
He brought you luck, though.
Um,
Your son brought you luck.
absolutely, absolutely, and my daughter.
Yeah.
Let's not forget her. But yes, definitely, as the floodgates sort of opened, dumb luck, being at the right place at the right time, and that's we kept it rolling. We had no money, real money to our name, so we did weird things like take our jewelry, give it to the bank for collateral against a loan, which helped us sort of get to the next step, and that kept on multiplying, and it was a cash cow. And then later on, we diversified into the hotel business, which was about 15 years later.
Shashi's giving you the short version. He actually really worked hard with the video game. He did deals that I didn't know about because he'd probably I'd stress out too much. And so he took a business that went from selling video games in his mom's store with two counters to getting a store down the street. And I was doing the paperwork and the little retail section, but he was the one handling all the back end and the $1 million deals. And that's how we got to a point of $100 million in sales and stuff.
Wow.
So he's just giving you his short version. I'm giving you the real
That's
version.
quite a jump.
Well, we only had well, thank you, but we only had an hour, so I didn't want to go through too much.
But that's where it all started. That's where
Yeah.
we made our money. That's where we were able to diversify. That's why we were able to go into the hotel business because of the money that he made in the video game industry gave us the opportunity to diversify and go into different ventures and things like that.
Yeah. Now I
Priya,
know why. Yeah.
why
Sorry, go ahead.
hotels? How
Well,
did hotels become even an idea for you?
so my brother Sunil, same guy with the Mario Brother 3, was the very first La Quinta franchisee in all of the La Quinta flag. And he kept bugging me and Shashi, build a hotel in Laredo. And we're like, that's not our business. We do video games. What do we know about hotel? Well, bugging and bugging later. So we finally opened our first hotel. And from there, I loved it. I mean, I found what was my passion. Shashi's was video game and soccer. Mine was construction and hotels. And I just took a chance. We opened the Marriott when no bank in Laredo wanted to finance us. They
La
thought we
Quinta,
were
yeah.
sorry.
We opened the La Quinta, not the
Yeah,
Marriott.
we opened the La Quinta. Nobody wanted to finance us because it was out by the arena, way by the airport. There was nothing out there except the arena, Waterburger, and us. And so we got financing through the valley actually, and we opened. And now you should see that area. It's just
It's
grown.
mhm.
It's the
You had
entertainment
the
part of it
foresight to
picking up.
what was coming.
We did. We actually started with that, and we ventured with a restaurant that built right on our property. So they were doing room service, and then from there, just one shopping center to another and another hotel. And
And she takes care of the construction also. So she's not just operating hotels, but she took care of the whole construction, and she does that. And that's I can see that she loves to construct also. Um, so it's really and today our hotels are doing obviously much better than the video game distribution business, and we're diversifying even more into different things. So we can get into that whenever you guys want. But that's where we were at 2004.
Yeah. Now, I want to understand video games. I'm in consumer electronics, so it's a shitty business. It's low margin. We haven't reached the $100 million number yet, and all our sales has gone online. Like I'm assuming Amazon and Walmart and the big boys are now taking a chunk of that market, and then hospitality and hotels, which I've also been in India, for me is another shitty business. The pressure of occupancy, average room rates, recession, uh, changing bed sheets, the TVs get damaged, insurance, theft, employee nightmares. Honestly, I think they're both shitty businesses. The fact that you've both done so well in video games and hospitality means, hats off to you guys. I think they're the hardest operating businesses to run. So I think it's
Hey, and
fantastic.
Priya's good at it. Like the hotels, you walk in there and they're amazing. That was the nicest La Quinta I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
I mean, beautiful.
La Quinta
And it's
is,
20,
just get an idea of average
20
room
years
rate.
old. Sorry.
right now, when we first start, we had our best 3 years since COVID started. Since 2004, we've had the best 3 years right now.
Oh,
Occupancy?
that's
And
awesome.
that's because we're on the Mexican border and all the National
Mhm.
Guard and everything else. Also, Laredo is the biggest inland port, so we have a lot of freight
Got it.
forwarders and stuff like that. So we've been very blessed, while some other parts of the country have really taken a hit in the hotel
Got
industry.
it. Can you just tell us
Priya, how
payback
many hotels do you
periods?
have now? Oh, sorry. Priya, how
We
many
have
hotels do you have now?
thr- we have three right now, plus one that I run, that belongs to my parents, that will come into my portfolio eventually. And we've signed for two more, Marriott Aloft, which we hope to break ground by early next year, and then the Hampton Inn and Suites, which will follow right after the Aloft. And then you never know,
These are $100
might
a
be another
night
one.
average.
About 100, and anywhere from 110 to 140 right now.
Okay. And you're getting 70% plus occupancy?
Probably about 85.
Wow. Wow.
This is now. Talk to me 6 year, a few
Yeah.
years ago, when it's had
Yeah.
its ups and downs. Right now we're at a up,
Got it.
but we've had our times when recessions and everything, and the hotel industry was taking a hit. But right now we've been very blessed on the border.
Sure. I want to know.
But you're right.
Yeah.
Sorry, but you're right. It's a very, very difficult business. So nobody come to Laredo to open hotels, please.
Okay.
Leave that to us.
Sure. I don't know how many
Leave
people
that
watch this
to us.
podcast that are going to be shied away from that, but thanks for that. I want to ask you, like, how do you make it work? Working together, husband, wife. I could never work with my wife. I wouldn't want to. Fortunately, we haven't needed to. But there's enough bickering at home with the kids and the night duties that you make it work, and you've made it work for decades. You've both been successful together. How do you complement each other, and what are the things you don't like about each other? Spill the beans.
Wow. Well, how we made it work, I think we've tried to segregate the businesses. So there's when we were in the video game distribution business, it was she was in charge of a certain aspect of everything, and I was in charge of the rest, and didn't question what she's doing because obviously she knows what she's doing, and she didn't question what I was doing. So yes, it is very difficult to work together, but the more you try to segregate the tasks and the duties, I think the better it becomes. Now we're almost totally separate. She runs all the hotels and construction, and now I'm doing different things. So I think you have to keep that segregation. It is hard to work together, but uh, trying to answer the other question, there is nothing I do not like about Priya. Are you kidding me? You want me to say it?
Aw.
I mean, honestly, there's nothing, right, Priya?
Yes, but okay, he's just being nice. But in the beginning, it takes a little time to adjust to being together 24/7 on an island where you have nobody, no friends, no family, no telephone, no TV. And I go back to that part of our lives because I think Saint Martin, being alone on the island with Shashi for 3 years, really gave us that footing into a marriage of being so close to each other, to rely on each other. My brothers, his sisters, my parents, nobody was there. So I think those 3 years foundation really has what has made our marriage where it is today.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a
I have a
blessing.
question. Oh, go ahead, Shashi.
No,
Go
I was
ahead.
just going to say it was a blessing to be away and sort of have each other,
Yeah.
own each other
Yep,
to
you're back.
depend on. Yeah.
Following with that question, and then the next part of your journey, which is soccer. Um, Shashi has the idea for the Laredo Heat, and I'm assuming he comes to you, Priya, with this idea, right?
No,
How did that conversation go? Oh, it
that's
wasn't like
not
that.
how it go- that's not how it went.
Oh, tell us this story then. I don't know if I
So
remember this story.
I was he was talking to the he was talking about starting a soccer team. I wasn't very involved in it, and I didn't really know all the details of what it was going to entail, how much work, how much money, how much everything. And the next thing I know, we're signing to be a Laredo Heat soccer team in the USL soccer program, not the NPSL at that time. It
Okay.
was 2004, and that's how it started. And I was like, okay. And it took, and honestly, you're asking, so we're saying it took me a little while to jump on board. It took a little bit more than a little while, but once I got on board, once I saw what he was doing, once I saw what his dream was, once I saw what he wanted to accomplish and what he wanted to do for our community, well, he had 100% backing from me, our kids, our family, everything. But in the beginning, yeah, it was
A
a little bit
shock.
of a shock.
So before we continue with soccer, correct me if I'm wrong. The Laredo Heat has made the playoffs in all but three of its seasons, advanced to the conference championships 12 times, and won 8 titles. Correct?
Conference champions, we won 8 titles. We've only won one national title, but being in national finals 4 times, which is
That's awesome.
proud of that feat. Yeah, it's tough to
Absolutely.
do
Yeah.
with 100 teams across the nation. So
And you fund the entire operation? Like this is you own 100%, it's your
well,
franchise?
I I'd like to say the kids fund it because it was their money that we're using, right? Money that would be going to them. But yes, we funded 100%. But again, it's only a 3 month league of a senior team, but we have a 12-month youth program that we're equally proud of. Uh, but the actual season is just a summer season. It's 3 months long. Any longer than that, I think Priya would lose it because she's the most passionate on the sideline now. If you've noticed, Sabrina, when you were there.
Yes. There's megaphones and a lot of anger towards bad refs from Priya and the family. I've never seen you more passionate about anything, Priya.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty vocal. Sorry, I'm pretty serious at work, but boy, am I very vocal at the soccer.
So
But
Amita was
our
asking
youth,
me. Oh
sorry,
no, go ahead.
our youth is a nonprofit, and Shashi started about I think 4 years ago, non-pay to play. So Laredo's mm, average income isn't that high. There's a lot of
Yeah.
kids that can't afford to play. So he started a program of I think it starts at 11 or 12 years old, and they don't pay monthly fees. They just pay uniforms and if they travel, but everything else is covered by us.
It's awesome.
And it gives these kids a chance to play that might not have the chance to
Mhm.
play because they can't afford it. Their parents can't pay the monthly tuition. They so that's been another big step for us to do. And I think it's done when you hear the stories from people that, oh, my housekeeper's son is playing, otherwise he'd never have an opportunity to play, or any other story you hear, it really hits home that what we're doing is the right thing, that what we're doing.
Shashi, was it something personal that motivated this venture?
Yeah, so as I mentioned before, in 1980, I moved down to Laredo, Texas from Toronto, Canada, and I wanted to be a soccer player. That was my dream. And everybody in Canada is, God, you're going down to Texas. That's a hotbed for soccer. Um, and you're right to the border of Mexico, another hotbed for soccer. So, we're going to see you in the pros. Anyway, when I arrived to Laredo, not only did they not have soccer, they had no high school soccer, no club soccer, nothing to be found. I mean, all we had was basically a bunch of guys that got together after school and just played. So no formal training, all the training, everything. So I'm not saying the seed was planted at that point, because my idea was I'm leaving in, when I got here as a sophomore in high school, I'm leaving in 3 years, going to go to college, see you later, never come back. But when we did come back and we did have some wealth to our name, I said, look, I want to do what I want to help the youth in Laredo achieve something that I never had the opportunity to achieve. I mean, look, guys, I probably wouldn't have become a soccer player, but I could have safely said, look, I tried. And that's what I want the kids here to do. I want them to have the opportunity, have the platform, give it a shot. And if it doesn't work out, boy, you have a scholarship potentially to one of the better colleges in the U.S. So that's what really motivated me to give back. And what else motivated me, and I don't want to talk about the city of Laredo because they're coming around. But we played on dirt when I got here, and my son played on dirt, and we were still playing on dirt. So I wanted to do something a little bit more for the youth, and I guess I'm jumping ahead, and that's why we decided to start this stadium of ours that we've broken ground on, a very small stadium, which I consider more of a youth stadium. But we will play our games there eventually, hopefully starting next season, and it's 1,000-seat stadium, and we're excited about that.
That's incredible. And we've all had the same dream. I think every Neville Ride, Ravine, Dinesh, Manish, me, we've all had the dream where we're in the beach.
Now, Sabrina.
Yeah, and Sabrina,
Yeah.
Naima. It's a great dream we all have, no doubt. I think we've all had the same dream, and it's great to see that you're actually doing something about it. I think it's going to help a lot of people down in Laredo. So I think that's awesome. What do you think,
Well, I
Sabrina?
think, like you said, all the Neville Rides, all the Vaswanis. The problem is our genes. I mean, nobody told our parents or ancestors that we want to be athletes.
Hmm.
Wait, Shashi didn't hear our intro.
What was your
So
intro?
a, a relay team from India just came in second place in the 4x400 in the World
No,
Championships.
they
Was
second
it
in their race, but they in the
in their race?
finals they were fifth. It's the first time Indians men's 4x400 actually end up in the first 8 places in the world at an athletic competition in Budapest.
Right, but I guarantee you none of them were Cindy's.
No,
Guaranteed.
yeah, that's also true.
Hey, you never know. Your grandson, my granddaughter, Amitu's
Yeah,
sons. It just might be in this gene pool. We don't know yet.
But
I
Well,
think I think we need stem cells is what we need.
yeah,
well,
I,
I already have my grandson kicking the ball,
I
and
think
Yes, see?
I think football or
Actually,
soccer. Yeah,
I got your grandson his, I believe, his first Messi jersey. Didn't
yes,
I? All
yep.
right.
I,
All right.
I think football and soccer, same thing, but I think it's taught us, it's been part of my life from day one. It's taught us competition, teamwork, winning, losing, discipline, to be injury free, eating correctly, so that, less alcohol, so that I can play tomorrow morning football. I think football is in everything that we do, and it's taught us so much in life without having to be at that level. So I think all sport does that. So I think the fact that you're getting it from the age of 11 onwards, I think it's going to transform their lives in ways that they have no idea. So I don't think it's just Messi that inspires people. I think what you're doing is phenomenal, really.
Yeah.
Well, our youth program starts at
Thank
the
you.
age of 3 and 4.
Oh, I thought it was 11. Sorry, 3 and 4.
The 11 is the non-pay to play, is the kids that don't pay, but
Okay.
the 3 and 4-year-olds, we need a lot more
Okay,
coaches out there to take care of the little ones. But yeah, we've got 3 and 4, 5, 6, all the way up.
I'm setting my boys
S-
next summer.
Please do. My
Awesome.
son's My grandson's starting at 2, going out to
Don't forget, I'm
kindergarten.
Cindy,
And
so I expect a
20,
discount.
Yeah, of course.
there's 28 teams in the youth league. Is that correct?
There is, yeah, I haven't counted the teams, but we're pretty
But
close.
approximately.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And started off really small, like a couple
Yeah.
of teams.
Yeah, absolutely. When we started in 2004, it was a rollout, sort of first stab at trying to develop a youth program. And we have suffered because there is a lot of cultural hurdles here in Laredo, where we are 99% Hispanic. Everybody loves the sport, but all the parents seem to feel that they know more than all the coaches. So all those struggles happen. I mean, it's a blessing in one way, but it's also a hurdle in another, because we have to go through and explain to them what we're doing is correct, and these guys are watching football, professional football in Mexico all their lives, and they think they know what's correct. So there's always a clash. But it's been a struggle. I can't say it's been easy, but we've forged forward, and I think this playing field that we have now for them is going to help expand what we're trying to do and help
That's
tremendously.
awesome. And I don't think we've mentioned yet that you guys operate the team at a loss, correct? Since its inception?
Yes. Yeah, she's yeah.
Yes.
We would we would definitely have a probably a plane if we hadn't had the Laredo Heat, but of course we wouldn't be giving back to the community. So that's our choice, or
Shavi's
my
That's awesome.
choice.
Shavi doesn't share his plane with
That's
you
our
guys.
choice.
I'm sorry.
Shavi doesn't share his plane with you guys.
He offered.
He offered, yeah, yeah. He
It was
has offered. So he's in between planes right now. So we're telling him hurry up, get his next plane so we can use it.
Sounds good.
That's funny.
So I want to jump into success. We ask all our guests what their definition of success is and whether it's evolved over time. Um, so, let's start with you, Priya. What's your definition of success?
success to me is happiness. Means that we enjoy what we do. If you make $100 or you make $100,000, but if you're happy doing it, that to me is success. So for me, it's happiness. And for me, yes, we've done very well and made money, but I'm happy what I'm doing. And I think when you're happy what you're doing, it reflects on all other parts of your life.
Good
Nice.
answer. Shashi?
Can I say what she said,
No,
or do I have to have
no,
my own? No.
no. You have to
I
use your
yeah
mind.
yeah. So I guess when I look at someone, what I really appreciate when I see a successful person, I appreciate the fact that they're well balanced. That it's not all about money. It's about personal time. It's about friends. It's about family. Um, it's about bringing values into your family. So it's not all about the money. I think success for me is being well rounded, and that I appreciate in people.
Yeah.
And
Sabrina,
sometimes not easy to
I
find.
think he's talking about you, Sabrina.
Yeah. No, I
Absolutely.
am. I work on trying to be balanced every single day.
Good answers.
How do you guys find balance? You have so much going on. How do you find balance? How do you find peace?
Wine.
Cheers to
First,
that.
and
first honest
tequila for
answer.
me.
Wine and
So
tequila.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I think what for me right now is the last 6 months I've spending time with my grandson has
Yeah.
really changed the amount of work. I'm still on emails at 2:30, 3:30 in the morning when I can't sleep. I'm still on emails in the morning. I might not be in the hotels as much as I used to be, but I'm hands on emails and every complaint and everything. But my joy right now is getting to spend time with my grandson.
I can imagine it's going to be from now until forever. That's going to be,
Hmm.
right?
I do have two other hotels and I want to get up and running though, but yeah.
Are your kids involved in your businesses or they've gone their own separate way professionally?
Our daughter moved to New York and she was dating somebody in finance. So we thought she's never going to come back to Texas. So she kept saying to our now son in law, okay, you know what? Yeah, marry our daughter. Yes, 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 but we want you in Texas. We never thought they were going to come. He was in Feinstein's, he was in Wall Street.
Yep.
Our son wanted to do sports management. So I thought eventually he'll end up somewhere with the Laredo Heat or helping there. COVID hits, and my daughter and son-in-law are now in San Antonio. They say, okay, we'll stay here a couple of weeks. No, they end up coming to Laredo. COVID doesn't end, and they end up living in Laredo.
Wow.
Our daughter takes, oh, she was doing all of Shashi's online video games. She was handling it from New York, but now she's more involved in this projects and the development and stuff like that. And my son is now very much involved. Of course, his passion is Laredo Heat, but where he makes his money is the hotels.
Yeah.
So both of them are now involved, and we're very blessed and very lucky to have them all in Laredo. Which, if you would ask me, Shashi, I really don't think we never
Mhm.
dreamt that we would all be in the same city,
That's a
much less the same
parent's
neighborhood.
dream come true to have
Absolutely.
all your kids back.
No, and be part of the
Yes.
business and help develop it with their own skill sets and their own brains. I think
Yeah.
that's a good thing. I was going to ask, what advice do you have for your children or for young entrepreneurs at their age
Mhm.
to add to that?
One of my favorite sayings, and you've heard it, and this is literally and figuratively, but one man's medicine is another man's poison, and literally medicines, as we all know, you could be allergic and die, and it could work very well for another. But throughout life, as you um, as you get asked to look at different aspects of life, hey, try meditation, hey, try um, this TED talk and everything. I would explain to them is what's good for somebody else might not be good for you. Keep looking, because what's when you're gonna know when you find it, and don't be distraught if somebody tells you to try X, Y, and Z and it just doesn't work. Move on, try something else, and don't worry about what's in the past. Because a lot of people get caught up on if it worked for me, it's going to work for you. That's not true. Even positive things, it's just not true. So listen to your intuition and try different things, and do not get hung up on anything even I say or Priya says, uh, because everyone's different. We're all unique in our own way. Even our kids are unique from us, so we have to give them that space.
Sure.
So a little while ago, you mentioned something about luck. Um, we've asked some of our previous guests this question. Do you believe in luck or do you think it's hard work?
I 100% believe it's luck. I know of a lot of people that are smarter than me, that work just as hard as me, and have gotten nowhere. And it's unfortunate, and humble people, God fearing, everything, the whole,
Yeah.
and they haven't got anywhere. Um, and so it's absolutely for me, and again, that's my opinion.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
100% luck, and I think some people have it, and some people unfortunately don't have it, and I can't answer why or what. And obviously, all you have to do is have the hard work. But again, I know so many people that work so hard, um, and again, smarter than I am, and smarter than Priya, but they just haven't got that lucky break, and we thank God, and that's why we feel that we have this. We want to give back, and we try as much as we can to give back when
You
we can.
guys, yeah, you guys are very, very philanthropic. And I read an article recently that South Asians tend to give money to organizations more so that support missions in India. But you guys invest a lot of time and money in local organizations. And I find it just very admirable that you do so.
So can I answer that real quick? I know I'm seem like I'm hogging, but my thought process, and I've told this to Priya, I said if everybody would take care of their own communities, we wouldn't need to go outside and help different organizations.
Yeah, good point.
So try to work within your community and help them out. And there are, and I'm not saying don't help anybody else, but concentrate in the community. That's where you've grown up. That's where you've made your money. And that's a strong feeling I
Yeah.
have.
No, I love that. I love that.
I feel that too. I feel like Laredo's been really good to us
Yeah.
financially, every in every aspect of our lives. And if we don't give back to the community that has got us where we are today, well, I mean, we do, and you're right. We give back to our community more than we do in other places, but our community is where we are and where we make our money and everything else. So yes.
Makes sense. Sabrina, should we jump onto the rapid fire?
Yeah. I have one more question before, because I don't think I've ever
Go for it.
asked you guys this. Who are your role models? And it could be in life, in business. Who are your role
Don't
models?
say Oprah.
No, not
No.
going to be Oprah.
Not going to be Oprah.
And if you don't have one, that's
No.
okay too.
I'm going to say my mom. My mom
It's
worked
great.
very hard. Couldn't afford a third child, but here I am. She struggled a lot. She's gone through a lot, and she's worked a lot alongside my dad. And
I love it.
she's got more patience than I'll ever have in my life. So
It's a good role model.
Yeah.
Shashi?
She's awesome. Yeah.
Like this is besides Messi, right? No, I'm going to say this, and again, you
Don't say
guys are going to
LeBron.
think,
Don't say LeBron.
Huh?
Don't say LeBron.
No. Actually, my role model is, again, you're going to say I don't believe you. You're just saying that, but it's Priya. I've always told you how I admire people that are able to balance success and everything else, and she's done that. I mean, she's a living example of that. So there's a lot of people that are sort of focused on one thing, and there's nothing wrong with that. But to be able to do what she's done is amazing. So
I believe
again,
you,
I haven't
Shashi.
done anything wrong, and I'm not asking. I'm saying that because I've done anything wrong. I'm just it's the truth.
You see,
you don't
this
need
is why they work so well together.
But this is only an American thing because no other country, a couple,
I'm
would
Indian.
complement each other the way Shashi has done to his wife over here. I mean, my wife would not be able to handle it, and she wouldn't believe a word if I said it, even if it was true, which is not.
But
So
we're Indian, not American.
Well,
I mean, we are American, but we're Indian also.
yeah, but you're in Vivekland.
Shashi.
You're Indian American. You.
Oh,
Okay.
here we go. So when Amit came to visit us in December, he actually told me that I say I love you to my daughter way too much. This is the same person.
Really?
He's like, why are you always complimenting her, telling her you love her?
But Sabrina, like my mom and dad have never told me I love you, Amit. Like it's not who we are as Indians. No Indian parent has said they love their children in India or in Asia. It's an American thing that you guys have got from your generation, but it is something that is American. I mean, you must admit
My
that.
parents always said I love you, even
They're
before we
American,
moved to the US.
even before the US.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
not my dad.
Yours, Priya?
My dad growing up, absolutely not. I think maybe I won't say I'm up there in age, and it's got to be a handful of times he's told me. My mom, on the other hand, has, but my dad,
I'm 46. My dad's never said I love you, son. I mean, I don't love him. I don't think he loves me less because of that. It's just not part of our DNA.
I
Oh,
agree.
I probably
Can
say
I
it
say?
about 12 times a day to my kid.
Oh, I say it all the time.
I said
to
all my
kids.
kids all the time to my kids. I said all the time before they sleep. Love you, got them. Love you, Aman.
So can I say something?
Sure.
I love you, Amit.
Yeah, thank you. You sleep well. I feel better now. I didn't need. I wanted
Okay,
Messi's
rapid
approval.
fire.
Rapid fire. Go ahead, Sabrina. You start.
Okay, if you could buy any professional sports team, not only soccer or football, which would it be? And you both answer. Priya?
Right now, I would buy the Miami team where Messi plays.
Into Miami.
Ah, good one.
David
Into
Beckham
Miami.
out.
Yeah. Can I sort of say that I would make my Laredo Heat a professional team?
Yeah, I'm good with
No?
that. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I'm good with that. That's awesome.
All right.
Got to win the lottery,
Next one.
honey.
If there was a movie made, if there was a movie made about you guys, who would you want lead actor and lead actress to be to play you, be it Hollywood or Bollywood?
So I would say
Doesn't have to be bold.
for Priya, who's my
Wait,
favorite
wait, he's
actress?
asking for
I'm
you.
asking for you. Priya can answer for herself, I
Oh,
think.
oh, okay. For me, I guess for me it would be Amitabh Bachchan.
Okay.
Seriously?
Classic,
I
obvious
did not
reasons.
expect that answer.
Who would you think?
It's just called rapid fire for a reason.
You're thinking Tom Cruise? Okay, yeah. And Priya?
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Good one.
Oh, good one.
Good one.
Always been my favorite
Awesome.
actress.
Love her.
Yeah.
Sabrina?
Okay. This is not on the paper. We didn't write this question, but we never got to talk to you about it. So you guys watch what Rubiales did on the big stage after Spain won the Women's World Cup, correct?
Mm. Yes, Priya, you know what we're talking about? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
you get
Absolutely.
3 words to describe the incident. Up to 3 words.
On what happened?
Yeah. Like your feelings on it.
Mine is unacceptable.
One word.
Unprofessional.
Yeah.
Uh,
Fair enough.
just downright unethical.
Yeah.
All right.
right.
Moving on.
I knew you'd agree.
Yeah, that's an easy
Oh,
one.
and you're from, I mean, Spain. What is Spain saying about that? I'm sorry, can I interrupt?
Sure.
What is Spain saying about
So
this?
the whole country is definitely wanting him to resign, but because he has not resigned, it's now gone to the government body. And the TAD today said that the situation is grave, not very grave. And because it's not very grave, they cannot fire him. So he remains in his position. And they've suggested that he is removed from his post effective immediately, but they can't legally fire him without paying the consequences of that firing. But what's happened now is that we mentioned it in the intro. The woman or the representative body have come out with a statement saying that this is agresión sexual, i.e., sexual assault. And ever since they came out with the sexual assault terminology for what everybody saw, the peck and the video of her smiling and laughing afterwards, they were saying, listen, even though she may be in shock, we do not consider his peck to be a aggressive sexual action.
Assault.
It was more of a stupid, wrong thing to do. But to put him under sexual predator terminology is actually putting a few people off and supporting him for him to stay on his job and fight this through. Even though it's a minority, most people want him to resign, including the president of Spain, but he's going to see this one through, unfortunately.
Yeah, in our intro I said if this happened in the US, the next day he'd be terminated.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, Trump has called people nasty things and he's groped women and stuff, and he's the president. So, they should be.
It's not my president.
Well, unfortunately, he is your president. He is exactly your
No,
president.
not at the moment.
Well, he
Not at
was
the
your
moment.
president. Sorry.
Oh,
He
God,
was your
not-
president in your good days when you were making lots of money. So you got to thank him for that. And he didn't take you into any wars. Not that I like him.
We actually, we actually voted, and we vote mostly Republican, and we just don't. Our conscience wouldn't let us, even with knowing that he'd save taxes. It didn't matter. I'd rather pay the taxes and have a decent human being as our president than
Yeah, that's
the money that
honorable.
you save.
Sure, but you're also the minority now, right? In terms of Trump won the election. When he won the election, not today. And
He didn't win the popular vote,
But
so
by how many
he
votes,
did not
Shashi?
win
By
the
how
popular
many?
vote,
You still had 49% of the country, right?
but it's not the majority.
Yep. Okay, but still,
So
enough 130 million people voted for him.
Right here.
There are too many people who voted for him. I'm not a Trump supporter, nor am I a Vivek supporter, Sabrina. I just find it fascinating what happens in American politics and how it works compared to the rest of the world. And let's not talk about.
All right, let's go to the next
Let's
rapid fire.
the last rapid fire.
Sorry.
All right, the last question. I'll go for it. one
Yeah.
thing in your bucket list, or the next thing you want to cross out in your bucket list.
Shashi knows
Can
mine.
we go? South African safari,
Oh, nice.
non-hunting one. Just
Yes.
Non-hunting, non-killing.
Yeah,
yeah,
That's
Used to
on
be
my
me
bucket list too, Priya.
I've done it.
Hmm?
It's awesome. It's really good
it's
fun.
awesome.
Priya?
That's mine.
Oh, that's yours. Okay. And Sashi?
What's hers is mine.
Oh God.
You
No,
see, they even
I
answer
think
for
I
each other.
yeah for me it has to do with the water. Probably find a place on the Cayman Islands to
Buy a yacht?
visit.
Hmm.
Or just settle in the islands, or buy a yacht and sail
No,
around?
just
to buy a
um,
condo and
she
live on the
won't
water.
sail around with me, so I can't do that alone. So it'll be buying something and chilling next to one of the best waters in the world.
Fair enough.
Very cool.
The
Well,
only
hope
thing
you
that's
guys do
left is to
that.
say thank you
Too.
for agreeing to do this. I hope you had as much fun as we've had in this conversation. And maybe I see you hopefully before somebody else gets married again, because I only seem to see you at weddings.
Thanks. Thanks for
Yeah,
having us.
absolutely. Yeah. Do you guys want to say anything before
Yeah,
we?
so we appreciate you having us on. Uh, I commend both of you for what you're doing. You know, it's amazing that you started this, and both of you are naturals. And I wish you nothing but success.
Thank
And
you.
please, if you have other people on, big guns, invite us back so we
For
can
sure.
listen in and ask questions. No, but yeah, it's great what you guys have done. Really is.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. And I meant every word I said introducing you guys, and you guys you're showing why you're a dynamic duo. You're a force to be reckoned with. Keep doing what you're doing. I think you're making all of us proud by your hard work and how much you give back. So, thanks for being here. And
an idea
yeah,
for the thumbnail for this episode. We're gonna say the Indian Jay-Z Beyonce. Bang. That'll be a good thumbnail for this one, right? We need the views. It's a good one.
Wow. We can't sing, you know that, right? Well, I can.
You know what?
I
I don't
can.
think they
I'm
can
just
either.
kidding.
I don't think they can either right now.
All right.
oh my God.
Oh my
All
God.
right. This has been another episode of Indian Explorers. And thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And if you enjoyed what you like, please subscribe and share with others. Thank you.
Peace.